a Mozambique, 5 shots. Ready?
Go. Yep.
So we are back. We got the R-1, the Rhodesian FAL. We're going to talk about it for the history, specs and parts, and also we're going to shoot it a little bit. But let's start off with a bang. Damn, that's a bang. Damn. All right, welcome back to G.I. John TV, guys. We have a special guest here, Gunny Nguyen.
How's it going?
And he's going to show us one of his really collectible pieces in his arsenal, which is the Rhodesian R1, right, Gunny?
Correct.
So we also have the G3 in cohesion because we're talking about the Bush War, and we want to primarily talk about the R1. The G3 will be another segment down the line, but tell us a little bit about the R1.
Well, the R1 originally started with South Africa because at that time, Rhodesia was under an arms embargo by the UN because of their government. So they were able to finagle with South Africa because South Africa didn't want to lose their way of governing.
They wanted to be the pretty much they want to keep their way of life like the Western civilization going in Africa.
Correct.
But the other side wants to liberate the people while the
Correct.
other side wants to keep the civilization of the West.
Correct. And
going.
more very pale.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yes, primarily.
So what happened, my R1 is built on an Enterprise Arms kit. But the original R1s were scrubbed. All the South African markings that identified it with South Africa was taken off. So South Africa wouldn't fall under that arms embargo as well.
So, and then let me also I want to ask, you told me that when you see the square mark that's stamped on the barrel,
Correct.
it would have a crest, but they scrubbed it.
Correct. So it was a proof marking from South Africa, as well as there was also another proof marking on the right-hand side of the magazine well.
Okay.
And what they did was they cut a hole there to remove the South African crest. And then on the barrel, they did the same thing.
That's crazy. So just to throw it in there without them getting associated as a supplier with the
Rhodesian government.
Yeah.
Because then Rhodesia, that government was overthrown, and now we call it Zimbabwe.
Right. So which
we're not going to get into politics.
Yeah.
But for the guns themselves, the South Africans supplied the FALs, the FALs, to Rhodesia to fight against the rebel forces. At the same time, the Portuguese supplied the G3s to Rhodesia.
But you also added that they didn't even take off their crest, their parts, all that other stuff it's all there.
Apparently, the Portuguese didn't care.
But they didn't obviously get in trouble for it, so.
No, I believe at that time because Portugal is a member of NATO, so they want to play. No one wanted to play with the Portuguese because they'd have to throw them out of NATO. Because
they're associated with NATO. Oh my God! So damn, that's crazy. So the UN couldn't play because they're part of a big.
Right. It would have been worse.
Yeah.
So, if you can imagine, like the Battle of Britain, you have the Hawker Hurricanes and the Spitfires. Same thing with the FALs and the G3s.
Right. Okay. So which was the Spitfire here?
The Spitfire to me is the FAL.
Okay.
Much sexier.
Right.
Whereas the G3 is brutish and powerful and just knock down the door.
Yeah.
If you've ever fired a G3, you know what I mean.
Yeah. So that's pretty crazy. So that's pretty much in a nutshell the history of how the R1 came into country in Rhodesia, which does not exist anymore.
Now it's Zimbabwe.
Yes. And then obviously the G3 came. The first one obviously was the R1. Then the G3 came in.
They're about simultaneous. About the same
simultaneous.
time.
Okay.
Because and then it's really hard to get a FAL R1 all serialized because the Rhodesians were doing anything they can to keep their guns running. So you're going to get a lot of mix and match. If you're lucky, you might be able to find some serialized parts that all match, but that's really a rare find.
So, and I want to ask, you got your parts without even any ounce of the bush war paint.
Correct. I got mine years and years and years and years ago. It didn't have the baby poop green.
Right.
And the
Which
same
is
thing,
rare of its own, though. If you have it,
if you can get the mixture, be my guest. I think it's disgusting.
but a lot of people are collecting it.
But yes, there are companies out there that actually say, hey, we'll paint your gun baby poop green.
You're right. But you did mention to me a while back that there's a collectability of the original paint.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Damn. That's how much did you buy the kit for?
Back in 1984, 85? No, 95. I'm sorry, 95.
Oh, 95. Okay.
95. I paid all said and done. I believe I paid $700 for it. That's with assembly from Enterprise Arms.
Damn.
With the receiver.
Altogether, $700.
$700.
Compared to now, we're almost 15 to 2K.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I even have an even more special item. I have a Hallback device.
Oh, that's right.
Oh.
Oh, don't worry, I got you, Gunny.
So, remember I showed you how much the Hallback device was?
Oh, right.
So this, I thought, was a ripoff for $75 back in the day.
But now, what's going for?
I saw one on auction the other day for $435.
$435 for a muzzle brake made in someone's garage in Rhodesia. Pretty much,
yeah.
Yeah, in a nutshell. But works.
It works.
Which,
you fired it.
Yeah. It actually works. You'll see a segment once we go in the shooting section of this gun. You will see this in action, and it actually works for how brutish, crude looking.
Very poor welding.
Right, but works.
It works
for the job, especially on I think fully automatic fire, right?
When you go full giggle on this. This is a 308 or 7.62 NATO, so that's gonna rock and roll, and you need something to control it. So they came up with this. But even in rapid fire, as you felt,
it kept it down. So when you were shooting, it was just going down like this.
You have to pull the gun up.
Just like the concept of like if you're firing an AK-47 has that slant, it's like tugging you down. I feel that with that one as well.
Yeah, exactly.
It's nice, and for now like 435, so you spent 75.
And I thought it was a ripoff.
But now it grew. It appreciated up to 435
Insanely.
bucks. Yeah. That's actually, and I haven't seen, honestly, when you told me about this, when we first talked about the R-1, I was really impressed to know that there was such a device made during the war to make the FAL work flawlessly, or pretty much help the recoil mitigation.
Correct. As well, mostly if you're using it like a squad automatic weapon type situation.
Oh, right.
Where you can actually lay down some suppressive fire relatively accurately.
That's crazy. So that's, in a nutshell, that's pretty much the whole history of the R1 then.
Correct.
Okay, well, you guys heard it. This is the history portion of the R1. We're going to go and move forward to pretty much the specs and parts and what makes the R1 the R1. So, like, for example, the crest, all that stuff. Gunny's going to go over it and talk more in detail of every single part that he mentioned on this portion about the gun. So just stand by, look forward to the specs and parts, guys. Tell me how it works. We'll start off from the rear of the rifle.
So you like from the butt? Okay.
Yeah, I got. Yeah, quite frankly.
Okay, from the butt. This is standard Belgium contour buttstock.
Right.
Very standard. Getting a correct sling for this gun is nearly impossible. But most of the time, the Rhodesians just use bootlaces.
Bootlaces?
Yeah.
The fuck? I mean, excuse me, but really?
That's all they can afford. If it works, it works.
Because look at this thing, it looks like a USGI sling.
It is a USGI sling. It fits because remember, this gun was developed and designed with NATO in mind.
Oh, right. Because to be universal in terms of
certain parts. So, the original ones came with, like this rifle. If you look here, you have the vertical takedown.
Right, and then you told me earlier that it will detach itself easy.
Correct. That was the idea. So what they did later on down the line, they modified it. They had a new takedown lever. Instead of going vertical, goes sideways.
Oh no! Wow, that.
So you pull it downward like the safety instead of backwards. Because what happens is as the gun recoils, the possibility of this can move backwards and unhinge while you're shooting.
then all your guts just come out.
and into your face.
Hey, would you say this is NATO length, Gunny, in terms of the stock length? Because I saw the length it pulls pretty long on this.
It is NATO length, but 1950s NATO length.
Oh yeah, people were built bigger back then, I guess. Right?
Well, then it's just the way they designed it.
Oh, right.
So the rear sight is graduated from 200 meters
Okay.
to 600 meters. Now, the L1A1, better known as the SLR, the British version made by Enfield, is in yards.
Oh, so it's metric.
This gun
Really
is metric.
Okay.
Truly a metric gun. So the designers of this originally wanted a different caliber and a smaller gun, but because the U.S. demanded 7.62 NATO,
Right.
that's what we got. And then they had to stretch this rifle out. So,
Damn.
now size matters.
Yeah, right. No, 100%.
So, to break it down, if you need to field strip it
Okay.
for your basic soldier, they kept it real simple. So, taking your takedown lever,
Okay.
pull it towards the buttstock, break down shotgun style. Take the rack.
AR pretty much, right?
Correct. So let me rack it, make it easy for me. So once the hammer is in the rear position, you can grab it by the rat tail,
Okay.
and out comes the bolt carrier and bolt.
So I'm catching something. This has lightning cuts on it.
This is actually called sand cuts.
Sand cuts.
Correct.
So what's the purpose of the sand cuts?
The sand cuts was intended to keep the gun more functional in an arid, sandy environment.
Okay.
And the Israelis came out with that first.
Oh, really?
Correct.
Because they've been having issues with it jamming.
Correct. In their
Okay.
environment.
Oh, okay. So but everyone is utilizing the same type of what do you call
Bolt
it?
carrier and bolt.
Damn. Okay.
They're universal across the board. The difference will be in the locking shoulder, and I'll show you that in a little
Okay.
bit.
Right.
So, once you get this gun, it's fine. It's not going anywhere.
Okay.
Turn it upside down. Push your bolt to the rear. Lift up and out. And that's it. There's your bolt carrier and your bolt.
That's all the parts.
That's all the parts to clean.
To clean and get
That's
them
field
field
stripping.
field stripping. Okay.
Okay. Then you can take your dust cover off. Pulls right back off.
Oh, it just slides in,
Slides in. Technically, you can fire this without a dust cover.
just like an AK.
Just like an AK. Except this rifle, instead of using a rotating bolt lugs,
Right.
this has
Instead of a long stroke piston.
this is a short stroke tilting bolt.
Oh, okay. So it's
So-
like a SKS, right?
Correct. Very much like an SKS. But this one, I don't know if you can see it in here. There's a piece of metal right here that corresponds with that.
Okay. And we'll get more detail what he's talking about when we have the transition.
That's called a locking shoulder.
Oh, a locking shoulder.
So they have different sizes. So the armor takes care of that. We don't.
Okay.
And that is an FAL field strip. That's
In a
it.
nutshell. And you pretty much just punch your
Clean bore.
clean rod down the barrel, and that's it.
Yep. Scrub out the insides a little bit. When you're back in garrison, that's when you take apart your gas system.
Okay, right. Because I know that gets fouled up with a lot of
Correct.
carbon.
And honestly, I've never seen one jam because of fouling up here. I see them jam because you go from different ammo types, like 147 grain ball,
Okay.
and all of a sudden you want to use like 150 or 168,
Okay.
and that's when you make a gas adjustment.
Gas adjustment. So if it jams, the whole reason is that you need to adjust your gas accordingly to the
Correct.
ammo.
Well,
Okay.
Normally that's going to be cause like a failure to eject, extract, or a failure to feed.
Okay. That makes
And a
sense.
lot of that because it's just not kicking that piston back enough.
Oh wow! That's because last time I took it out and I went to go shoot it, had a little jam. We were using the 7.62 by 51 NATO PPU.
Exactly, PPU. So the idea is that you could take this to any country. You're fighting a war.
Right.
You don't have to source your own ammo. You can source from your NATO member ammo,
Right.
and it'd make your gas adjustment.
According to okay.
Because everybody's manufacturing specifications might be a little bit different.
Right. So, which I noticed because when using PPU, I was like, "What the hell? I'm jamming here."
Mhm.
And then
Add gas.
add gas, and that made sense because at first I thought the gun was, taking the shit, but then looking at that, I was like, "Oh, I think we have a gas issue
But
here.
guess what we've gone back to now? Adjustable gas systems.
Oh, right.
M27.
Oh, the new service rifle for the Marine Corps.
IAR.
Yeah.
So everybody's going back to adjustable gas system.
Just to accommodate
That and
different
suppressors.
That's right, because the Marines
Not
want...
that you can put a suppressor on this thing, but you know.
Yeah. No, I see the concept. Yeah, just to help give it that more
The
reliability.
oomph,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. That's interesting. So that's so far the specs and parts, right?
Correct.
We're looking at just pretty much the rifle itself, dust cover, bolts, and we also had the interesting muzzle brake and a 20-round detachable magazine.
Now there are 30-round mags, but it's about this much longer, and it's just that much heavier.
Right.
20 rounds is pretty weighty after a while.
Sounds like a spray and pray in the bush war gun, you know?
Well, that's when you use this rifle as your saw.
Oh, right. Well, there's an Israeli version of...
Correct, a heavy barrel,
Right.
fully, it's their version of the BAR.
Right. Beefed up.
The
The barrel's a little bit... Yeah. I saw that.
And
The bipod had skids.
Correct.
Yeah. I wonder if I should ever get that one in the channel, but that's another interesting history piece right there.
Right.
But
So remember, the FAL is the right arm of the free world. Over 90 countries adopted this rifle.
oh, right. Until now, it looks like AR platforms are being used
Correct.
everywhere on NATO now.
Correct. Even the Israelis are using the AR
Yeah.
platforms, both in the M16 shorty version, and
Which is an M16A1, but they cut it, right?
right, and they
Yeah.
redid the barrel. Oh, that's a whole different.
Yeah.
That's a serious Israeli Bubba system.
Yeah.
That's the best I can describe. They just Bubba the hell out of it.
Well, I do appreciate you bringing your piece out here, and we're talking about a really historical item. I'm glad it's restored in a way it is right now. It's beautiful. And no hiccups at all, too. We took it out not too long ago, and it works fine. So,
Once you adjust the gas system.
yeah. Once you adjust it, it's pretty much good to go. But so far, we're going to go to our next segment, Gunny, which is the shooting portion of this platform. So stay tuned, guys. You're going to see the shooting of the R-1 Rhodesian rifle.
Rock and roll.
Yep, let's do it. All right, guys, welcome back. We are at the shooting portion. We're going to talk about pretty much muzzle rise on the R1, the difference between pretty much muzzle climb on the muzzle brake that we got, the little garage muzzle brake. Yep, and then without it. So you're going to see the muzzle climb without the little garage muzzle brake device. So let's get ready, guys. Just keep it on and we are set. 3, 2, 1. Go ahead, Gunny. All right. So we just got that segment recorded. Gunny's going to transition, put 3 more rounds in the magazine, and then he's going to add the little garage muzzle brake device. All right, Gunny, you're locked and loaded. So we're going to do the interesting little Rhodesian muzzle brake created in the garage. He's going to fire 3 rounds, and he's going to show the difference between the muzzle climb with and without. So let's go ahead, Gunny, in 3, 2, 1, go. Go. Damn, that was really good. Okay. So you saw that pretty much it didn't even have much of a climb, but you could feel that blast. When I was right there, I felt that blast. So guys, you get ready to see the footage, the comparison between both of them right now. 1, go. Okay, so we're back on the next segment. Gunny's going to do a bill drill on Bob out there. So we're going to do, what, total? 6 rounds, and however fast he can, on a 100-yard silhouette. So go ahead, Gunny, lock and load. I'll actually get over here on the camera. All right, in 3, 2, 1, go for it, Gunny. Whew, that was pretty good right there. I did hear one ping though.
And I hit the chain, broke the chain.
Oh fuck, Gunny.
It happened.
Damn it. We're going to have to do some maintenance on the target, but you saw 5 rounds. with the build drill on the R1, and that worked out. We're going to do another build drill with the garage muzzle brake, and pretty much got 6 rounds, lock and load.
5 rounds this time.
5 rounds, okay. All right, 5 rounds. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1, go for it, Gunny. You can really notice the difference there, that's for sure.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I saw you getting pulled down. That makes sense. That's a really good device. For how junky it looks, it's a really good device. So, what next? Should we what other pretty much like shootout you want to do with the R1, Gunny?
That's about it.
That's about it. Okay, guys. Well, you saw it. That's pretty much a shooting portion of the R1. Now we're going to end off with the conclusion of all sections we talked about on the R1, and then we'll go from there. All right, we'll see you guys next on the conclusion. All right, guys, welcome back. We are at the shooting portion. We're going to talk about pretty much muzzle rise on the R1, the difference between pretty much muzzle climb on the muzzle brake that we got, the little garage muzzle brake. Yep, and then without it. So you're going to see the muzzle climb without the little garage muzzle brake device. So let's get ready, guys. Just keep it on and we are set. 3, 2, 1, go ahead, Gunny. So we just got that segment recorded. Gunny's going to transition, put 3 more rounds in the magazine, and then he's going to add the little garage muzzle brake device. All right, Gunny, you're locked and loaded. So we're going to do the interesting little Rhodesian muzzle brake, created in the garage. He's going to fire 3 rounds, and he's going to show the difference between the muzzle climb with and without. So let's go ahead, Gunny, in 3, 2, 1, go. Go. Damn, that was really good. Okay. So you saw that pretty much it didn't even have much of a climb, but you could feel that blast. When I was right there, I felt that blast. So guys, you get ready to see the footage, the comparison between both of them right now. 1, go. Okay, so we're back on the next segment. Gunny's going to do a build drill on Bob out there. So we're going to do, what, total? 6 rounds, and however fast he can, on a 100-yard silhouette. So go ahead, Gunny, lock and load. I'll actually get over here on the camera. All right, in 3, 2, 1, go for it, Gunny. Whew, that was pretty good right there. I did hear 1 ping though.
And I hit the chain, broke the chain.
Oh fuck, Gunny.
It happened.
Damn it. We're going to have to do some maintenance on the target, but you saw 5 rounds with the build drill on the R1, and that worked out. We're going to do another build drill with the garage muzzle brake, and pretty much got 6 rounds, lock and load.
5 rounds this time.
5 rounds, okay. All right, 5 rounds. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1, go for it, Gunny. You can really notice the difference there, that's for sure.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I saw you getting pulled down. That makes sense. That's a really good device. For how junky it looks, it's a really good device. So, what next? Should we what other pretty much like shootout you want to do with the R1, Gunny?
That's about it.
That's about it. Okay, guys. Well, you saw it. That's pretty much a shooting portion of the R1. Now we're going to end off with the conclusion of all sections we talked about on the R1, and then we'll go from there. All right. We'll see you guys next on the conclusion. All right, guys. Welcome. We are here for the conclusion of R1. Is there any last statements you want to make on the R1 that people should know about and get more pretty much food for thought on it?
The Belgian version should have been over the M14. But that's a different story.
Oh, okay. I can see that. I mean, honestly, the ergonomics and how it works compared to an M14, I would take a FAL all day.
we got cheated.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
But if you can get yourself a FAL, and there's only one company in the United States that makes them currently,
DSA, right?
which is DS Arms, as I recall,
Right.
get one because you will not regret it.
Right.
The-
I mean, just shooting one. I get a feel of Western firearms, but I got also another feel of like even Eastern Bloc because of the concept. I got like I was just like looking at it, it's like wow, SKS, pretty much, you know.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Form follows function. Technology follows the path of least resistance.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
And we went, well, the British and most of the Western world, with the exception of the United States, went from a bolt-action rifle, the rifle that controlled the empire,
Right.
the Enfield 303,
Yeah.
to this, the right arm of the free world.
You said 90 countries adopted it.
90 countries adopted it, and it seen more action up until Vietnam. Even in Vietnam, it saw action.
With the Australians.
Correct.
Right, yeah, because the Aussies were involved, and not the U.S. was using this, but it was mostly the Aussies and also
A few other NATO countries.
that was involved in it. That's
Correct.
interesting, yeah.
Not the R-1, but the
Just
FAL.
the FAL in general,
Correct.
yeah. Well, I'm glad, honestly, Gunny, thank you for coming out to the channel again. And guys, if you like this content, go ahead and subscribe, and also comment and share these pretty much forgotten weapons here. And let's keep this R1 going and let the next generation know pretty much where the FAL has been, especially in a big turning point war like the Bush War.
Yep.
That's like how many years?
A lot.
Like 15?
15 years.
Yeah, 15-year war. Took pretty much the same spotlight as Vietnam, right?
For the Africa, yes.
Yes. Oh, okay. Then ironically, right after 70, I think it ended in 79, and then it went. Then the Russians had their little feud in 79 also
Oh, yeah.
with the Afghans, right?
That's a whole different
Yeah,
animal.
I know. Yeah, just talking about all the turning points. But again, this is the R1 guys, and if we do have another segment, right, Gunny? Between me and you, we're going to bring out a pretty much the other
The Hawker Hurricane
the Hawker Hurricane,
of the Bush Wars.
right? Which is going to be the G3. So stay tuned, guys. And again, I'll see you guys next time. And also follow on Instagram at GI John TV. And I'll see you next time. Peace.